You are now listening to the Going North podcast with your host, author and speaker, Dom Bregman. And every Monday and Thursday, you're going to hear the voice of a different author share their stories, expertise, and their struggles that they had to overcome in life to leave you inspired to get more out of your life. Be sure to not only listen to this episode, but share with others, connect with the authors, and always advance others to advance yourself. Now let's get on with the show. Hey, how's it going? I am excited because it is time for you to pick up book number 2. That's right, folks. For those who were listening since last March all the way up to now, you're probably wondering in that outro, like, hey, where's book number 2? It's finally here, and it's going to launch on May the 8th, but you can pre-order it now today. Head over to Amazon.com, type in Stay the Course. It'll be the third book down with the author named Darrick Brightman and the compass on the cover with that red arrow pointing up north. Pick up the book and tell your friends about it, and keep being sweet out there. And today on the Going North podcast, we're back at you again from authors all over the world, baby. I was messing with you. We got a local author in the building. And the wonderful thing about local authors, or at least if you're in the Baltimore area, it's one heck of a good feeling. It's like, yes, I have a comrade in the business of immortality. And this author right here is on the podcast thanks to a good buddy of mine known as Rita Timmons. Be sure to go back in the 80s of the Going North podcast. It was like episode 81 or 80, whatever. Listen to that episode. It was tons of fun. And it's going to be tons of more fun because today's guest, he's one of me. Yeah, that's right. He's one of me. You're probably like, do you mean mentally erratic? No, not mentally erratic. What the heck does that mean? No, he's a fellow millennial black male, and he's got a book titled The Little Black Book. And you're probably wondering who wrote this little black book. It's the one, the only, Darrick T. Miller. How are you today, sir?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
Oh, doing great, man. Doing great with 7 R's. That's right.
I hear you. That's awesome.
Yes, indeed. Got a fellow black man on the podcast, and he's a millennial, and he's an author. This is great.
Great. Check with that, baby.
Heck yeah. That's right. And you got a second book coming out, too, after this? So that's the funny part about it. Or the third one?
It's already out. I got the second book out. The third book is coming soon. It's coming soon. Be on the lookout.
Man, I knew I had 5 eyes for a reason. That's what I'm talking about, man. Folks talking about have your third eye open. Nah, son, you got to have a 5th eye. That's what I'm talking about. My man got freaking 3 books coming out. That's what I'm talking about.
You gotta keep it coming.
That's right. That's what she said. Well, anyways, as with all introductions, they're not allowed to be 20 years long. So mine filling us in on who is Darrick Miller and why'd you write and publish this wonderful book?
Darrick Miller, 28-year-old black millennial male who is just trying to help other millennials and other people just gain who they are, understand who they are, identify themselves for who they are, and be okay with who they are. I think that was the biggest thing for me is accepting and embracing who I am and the type of man I want to be for myself. I dealt with rejection, dealt with things in my life growing up that required me to do a lot of self-evaluation. And it also made me look at other young people, millennials and youth, and see that some of them are going through similar situations that I grew up dealing with. So for me, I have so many mentors and people in my life that have embraced me to help and take that wisdom that I'm gaining and to take to them. So I'm all about, just passing the information and all about wanting to give the best advice. I want to see my fellow colleagues, my fellow peers, and I want to see them succeed. So that's me.
That's what I'm talking about. Want to see a fellow black man succeed? That's what I'm talking about, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's right, man. We need more of that, man. We can't have freaking $300 pair of Nikes and a freaking $50,000 Cadillac from 1962, and then drop kicking our brother. Like, come on, man. Like, I mean, sure, you probably look.
Yeah, you find those. You find those.
I mean, the kick's probably fresh when you give him the drop kick, but still, like, come on,
right. That's funny. Oh man. That's funny.
It's like, yeah, they bring back skinny jeans. Let's bring back some Cadillac. Let me stop. All right.
Right. Oh man.
Yeah, man, but read the book and finished it. It's good stuff. It's a nice, well, it fits the title, Little Black Book. I mean, a nice 50-page tome for your dome. So what inspired the size behind the book, man? Because I really appreciate the size of the book, because it's like, man, folks got goldfish attention spans out here, man.
Yeah, that's I know that's for me. Like, and I always been an avid reader. In school, I kind of skimmed through books just to get the main, parts of it. But I just felt as though, like, it needed to be, I don't really see too many millennials or the younger generation below us reading too much. So I wanted to impact a lot of material in a short, brief message and make it clear and concise for my readers to go ahead and understand where I'm coming from, and make it valuable, more than anything, make it valuable information for them to take and to grow off of, and use that to not only impact their own lives but the lives of others as well. So and that's all it's about, just having that chain reaction. You take that piece of information, you apply it to your life, you can help somebody else apply it to their lives, and the road continues. So that was the main reason for it, being so small but just so impactful at the same time.
Heck yeah, man, and that's the way to go too, man. Heck, and even love the introduction, and even underline where it's like, hey, they question the actions of like the young folks like ourselves, but they neglect to inquire about his story, his background, and his beginning.
Right, absolutely. And I feel like that's important, because they don't know what's going on. It could be a situation where, the mom could be, somewhere abandoning him. The father is nowhere to be found. His grandmother taking care of him. Or he could just be not in the household at all, living out in the streets, being, I mean, as we see in Baltimore these days, so many guys are so attracted to other guys in the sense of, trying to find someone to look up to, and they sometimes find the wrong person to look up to, and they live their lives based off of that. So it's about finding that self-love, most importantly, but at the same time, because of the stereotypes that's always been given, nobody wants to really understand, the real issues, the in-depth issues that's going on in the lives of young black men today.
Yeah, man, we fighting the world and the kitchen sink, man. I mean, it's like,
absolutely.
Dude.
Absolutely. And that's huge. That's huge. And it takes a toll. It takes a toll on you.
That's right, man. Not just the toll roads either, man. You show the toll road, like the freaking toll guy, they come out the darn booth and they drop kick you and be like, nah, fam, you ain't getting in today.
Right. Absolutely. They will let you know. They definitely will let you know. That's for sure. If you learned the valuable lesson, that is the lesson for today. That's a fact. Oh man.
Yes, sir, indeed. But yeah, man, it's you're right though. We do need the positive male role models in our communities, man. And I mean and effort is being made. I mean, some folks in my circles there, even Sadiq Ali, I'll shout him out, and he's actually one of the board members of, I believe it's Mentor Maryland, I believe. I probably jacked up the name, but he loves mentoring the youth, and he has this book called Millionaire Manners, where he's teaching etiquette to young males, and it's like that's something that a lot of young boys, they don't, especially black boys, don't get nowadays, because they're, even though there's still two-parent households out there, it may be a blended family, and if it's a single mom, then you're going to be raised by a woman who's basically bipolar by default, because she's got to be both the disciplinarian and the mother. So it's like yeah, man. So it's rough out there.
And that's a tough job. Yeah, absolutely. So it's needed. That mentorship is definitely needed for young black males today. It's definitely needed.
Yes, sir, indeed. So what prompted you to write a book, man? I mean, it's not every day where you be like, I want to write a book, especially at a young age.
Absolutely. I'm going to be honest with you. I never seen it coming. Let me tell you that much. I never seen it coming. But I have one of the biggest things that has helped my growth, not even just in the development of becoming a man, but in my development of my spiritual life as well. I have so many great mentors, men and women of God, that have truly blessed my life, who have given me so much wisdom and guidance that really I couldn't hold it in for myself. Like, I had to tell other people, this is the things that I'm getting from folks that are only successful in the things in their own businesses, in their own personal lives, but also in their spiritual life as well. And it shows. And I think that's the important thing of it is, it's like, I'm getting this knowledge, I'm getting this wisdom, but I can't keep it all for myself. When I see other young men who, like myself, the same skin color, young women like myself, same skin color, that are going through certain things, that are dealing with issues, and don't have a way, or don't have anybody that they can refer to talk to them about their experiences and things that they help them grow in where they're trying to go in their lives. So for me, it was like, I took this block of wisdom and I just started to write. And crazily enough, before I even wrote the first book, I was told maybe 6 to 8 months prior to, by one of my mentors, that I was going to start writing books and mini books. And I'm looking at her like, what? Like, what? And I was really like, that's not me. But as I started, driving around, and I would see young men on a corner, and just them hanging out, and just see different aspects of the city. I'm looking around. I'm like, if these cats had wisdom that I have of, how to be a man, how to become a man, how to become a man of God, it would be so much. It should be so much of a difference in this city. And me thinking of a way to how can I impact in some way? It may not impact 100, but it may impact that one that can touch that 100. And I just started typing it up. I just started writing, and things just started to flow. And naturally, being a young black man in America, in an urban community, I see the struggles that we deal with, the fights that we deal with, the things that most people wouldn't understand the process of how to conquer it. But I put all of that and placed that in that book and the next one, just to let people know this is what really goes on. This is what we're really dealing with. It's a different fight now compared to the generation before us, to this generation now. So that was the main backing for me beginning to write and start to inspire young people like myself and the younger generation.
Amen to that, dude. And you're right. It's like nowadays, like you got social media out there, and kids at the age of 10 committing suicide. I saw that in my feed the other day. I'm like, dude,
and that's mind blowing. Yeah, that's mind blowing. It's mind blowing, and to see that is kind of disturbing. The fact that, like you said, a 10-year-old, it has gone past. I couldn't imagine at that age during my time thinking about suicide. And the fact that, we have kids nowadays that are at that age, they're committing suicide and they're being bullied. And it's amazing how really that it's so many real issues going on within the children today that this is why it's so important to be involved in their lives, understand what's going on in their minds, understand what's going on around them and going on around in their communities and in their environment. It's important to have that knowledge and finding a way to how they can feel comfortable of being who they are. When I read the story, they were telling him that they told him other kids told him to go kill himself. Like it's heartbreaking to see that that's really going on, and especially even more now in our community, because before it wasn't that way. But now it's really starting to gravitate towards us, where it's taking these young kids' lives. And it's amazing that I couldn't even fathom to think that's something I would think as a 10-year-old. But that's really what's going on in our society today.
Yeah, man, it's like, wow. It's like, dude, really?
Yeah.
Just the crazy nonsense is out there. And funny enough, you had a moment in your life where I believe it was 12, right? When you had that moment that changed the trajectory of your life, right?
Yes. For me, it was a situation that I could never fathom. A situation where my mother, she was dealing with mental illness, and during that time, she dealt with a lot of issues within that illness, which caused her to act in different ways and say different things that she may not meant. And during an argument, disagreement, we got into it. She told me she wished she never had me. She didn't love me. And for me, that took that, for one, your mother, first woman that you ever loved, to hear that takes a toll. That I think that just changes everything. And that had me looking for love in all the wrong places, because I felt as though for many years after that my mother didn't love me, even up until my late 20s. That I was still dealing with that and didn't even know that I was still dealing with that. And that suppression of trying to find a woman to suffice that love that I felt like I was missing at that time. And of course, 12 years old, you don't really understand. I didn't understand her illness, didn't understand the issues surrounding it. But to hear that at an early age like that, especially when you're still in a vulnerable state, it definitely changes everything. And me and my mom, we have the best relationship now. And honestly, until I had that, until I actually wrote that out on paper, I didn't even know I was still dealing with that. And it took a minute for me to even felt comfortable to even want to release that to the world, to even say that. But I felt that was even more important because there are some young men and even some young women that are dealing with abandonment issues from their parents, or they felt like their parents didn't love them, or just dealing with things that causes them to act out a certain way because they felt like they didn't get the love or attention that they needed as they were growing up. And like I said, me and my mom have the best relationship, and that was a moment of forgiveness for me. I think once I really understood that still had a hold on me, that was just my moment of release. Once I really broke it down and got to the root of things.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Glad you're both reconciled. And that shows you're a man of your message. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Woohoo. Yes, indeed. Well, as with, well, actually, better yet, since you mentioned mentors and how they spoke just goodness into your life and a better future into your life, any advice for those who may be looking for a mentor, like some things that they should probably, things that should stand out? So if anyone's out there that may be looking for a mentor, someone to like maybe guide them or gives them some jewels, any advice for those out there who's looking for a good mentor?
For those that are looking for mentors, make sure they're good role models. That's the biggest thing. Make sure they're giving you positive insight on life, on your experiences, on how to deal with certain situations, certain circumstances. The biggest thing has been for me is look at their lives. Are they living their truth? If they're telling you this is how you should do things or how you should be, are they living the same thing that they're giving, the same advice that they're giving you? I think that's key, because you don't want to just take advice from somebody and they're not even living that lifestyle. Like, no, like, why would you do that to yourself? So, for me, it's just ensuring that they are living that life like they're telling you how to live yours, and not in the sense of trying to make it like you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that, but just the simple fact of the matter is that they want to see the development and the growth in you, so that you can get to where they were or they may not been. I know one of my great mentors, he tells me all the time he's so proud of me, the fact that, at his age, the things that I have accomplished in my life, he couldn't even imagine, if he has done things differently. But that's what makes him want to pour into me even more, because he sees that he doesn't want me to go that same route that he went when he was my age. So the biggest thing to take from it is make sure that they're living their lives according to how they're giving the things to you.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Role models, baby. Not egg role models, but role models. That's right. That's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Not hot dog on a role model, but just a role model. That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Let me stop. Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, that's solid indeed. It's always great to have somebody just to speak that life into you, man, and just actually using it and actually taking action from it, which is even better. And you got 2 other books, so tell us a bit about those 2.
The second book is called The Little Black Book 2, Miscommunications of the Millennial Black Female. And that book dropped in January. In January. Dropped in January. Same concept, just for my ladies. Just coming from a different perspective. I am not a relationship expert, but I definitely have taken things that I have encountered in my relationships, in my friendships with millennial women, and kind of develop a concept for them as well, to be able to to be able to conquer the issues that they deal with as well. So that's been the biggest thing, is just being able to do that, and be a blessing to them as well in the same manner. And book number 3 hasn't been released yet, but it's still being worked on. It's definitely going to be amazing. It's going to be tapped into finding your moment for greatness, applying all the principles and applying all the just rules to how to tap into your potential, how to tap into that greatness that's inside of everyone, and applying those guidelines and those principles to get to where you want to be in your life. So it'll be dropping late 2019 for sure.
Oh, dang, man. Man, a lot of good folks dropping good books in May, man. That is freaking awesome. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, my book's dropping in May, and another friend of mine, Dwayne Jenkins, he's another millennial black male in the Baltimore area. He's going to be releasing his first entrance into the business of immortality called Life Has a Way. So this is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
That's right. Black men who ride. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's right. Who needs to left when you just ride?
Right. He's a fool, man.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Nobody's safe from the bad dad jokes. That's right. Yes, indeed. Yep. Dang it. That was an unintended one right there.
Right. I hear you, though.
Alrighty. Well, as with all authors, I'm pretty sure there's been at least one book that has inspired them. So am I sharing a title or two that has really inspired you to publish your book?
Oh, that's a good question. I got a lot. Let's buckle down to one.
Yeah, it could be 3 if you want.
Let me see. How about my book? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to really be honest. I think, and not to boast or brag about myself, but to actually read it and read it back to me as I'm a reader, it was kind of inspiring to just see the issues that we really deal with and we really face, and the fact that we're able to conquer anything if we really put our minds to it. That, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the issues that we deal with, we're always able to be a conqueror. We can always beat the odds, and I think that's the biggest thing, to being able to fight through whatever and still keep churning to get to where God ultimately plans us to be. Again, I don't want to boast or brag that, but that's honestly, I think just that level of accomplishment, and to be able to understand, the creativeness of what it takes to actually be a good writer and to make material that entertains, and not only entertains but also inspires other people as well. Honestly, I think that's why I would actually consider my book one that I love.
Well, the good thing about that is you can say you know the author.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have had a few that I don't know the author to. So absolutely. But another one I have is Charlotte Main's Black Privilege. That was a pretty awesome book. Just to understand the concept of how how to come out of the perspective of not being set in this mindset of because we're black we can't get to where we want to be, and it's a thing of using the God-given abilities that you have to accomplish anything. So no matter what skin color or tone you are, you'll be able to accomplish anything. So I definitely, that's another book that I do that I take from, and that's one of the books that actually helped me write, honestly.
Oh yeah, that's another good book right there. I had to get that one on audio because that just added the icing on the cake right there, especially since Charlemagne was reading it.
Right. Absolutely. He's hilarious. He is hilarious. So that was definitely good.
That's right. My man had the right team of people with him. I'm like, yeah, man, gonna put out this great content. Black privilege, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's home for your dome. That's home for your dome. Woo! Well, being able to write and publish basically 3 books, because, yeah, as much as I don't want to admit it, May is basically here. Any advice you want to give to those who are looking to basically publish their work, especially at a young age, because I'm pretty sure there was some self-doubt you had to fight off and fend off just to get the first one out?
Just write. I think that was the biggest thing for me, is just write. Don't worry about how everything is flowing, how everything is, does things make sense or not. Just write. Just write from your heart. Be true to who you are. And I think that's was the biggest thing for me, is just being true to who I am, being true to my story, and being as transparent as possible to have people understand the in-depth things that were needed to be said, because in some way, shape, or form, it's going to touch them. It may not be for them, but it may be for somebody that they know. So I think transparency in your writing is always key. Just being open and honest, even if it's something that may hurt you, and it's going to be released to the world. It's still just being true to who you are, being true to your truth. I think that's the biggest thing, and just write until you can't write anymore.
Oh yeah, there goes that being right thing again. Left is all jealous. That's what I'm talking about. Left is staying jealous.
Right. Yes, indeed. For sure.
Beautiful indeed. Well, in your case, this one's going to be modified. So if you were 21 in the current year of 2019 with all of your amassed knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
21 in 2019, man.
Yep, get the drink, man.
I would definitely stay away from the drink. Stay away from the drinking. Honestly, I think for me is don't lose sight of the ultimate goal. Stay focused. I definitely, that's one of the biggest things that I would give my 21-year-old self. Honestly, stay focused. Put yourself first. I think that for me, given the situation that I dealt with, I always put myself last. And I even find myself, even now, that I still do it. Even at 28, I still do it. And in some instances, I gotta tell myself, like, dude, you gotta put yourself first. And I think for me, it's just being able to take those experiences and use those experiences to help other people that are 21 right now, that are 22. My brother is 22, and he dealing with girls and dealing with life and college, and I just tell him, don't get caught up in all that. Focus on you. Focus on what you need to do, what God has given you to use the gifts and abilities that He's given you to use for your purpose, for His purpose. So don't focus in on all the nonsense. Focus in on what's important. So I think for me, telling my 21-year-old self is love you, and definitely put yourself first.
Oh yeah, that's right. Forget about others putting you on the pedestal. Put your old self on that pedestal. That's right.
Hey, absolutely. That's straight facts.
Yes, indeed. So that way you knock yourself off. They can't knock you off. That's right.
They can't. Absolutely.
That's right. Because if they try to knock you off, you give them that drop kick out the Cadillac with the Nikes on your feet, baby. That's right.
There you go. And keep it rolling. And keep it pushing. That's how you do it, man. Yeah, that's how you do it.
Woo! Well, awesome indeed. So for those who want to keep in touch with you, what's the best way to reach out to you, man?
Best way to reach out to me, you can find me on Facebook, Darrick Miller. I think I put the junior on there. I am a junior, so you can just put Darrick Miller Jr., Darrick. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, Millennial Seed, and Twitter as well, Millennial Seed. You can find, my updates on the books. I try to do. I've been slacking this week, but I've been trying to do either a quote of the day in wording or a quote of the day in a video, just to kind of inspire, keep everybody motivated, keep the day going, and keep you accountable for you. So that's the ways that you can follow me.
Woohoo! Well, there you have it, folks. Going out there on that social media, baby, and follow the wonderful DM himself, Mr. Darrick Miller, baby. Slide into his DMs for that motivation so it can point you to where to buy a book. That's right.
Absolutely. Going down that right path.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right, with the pen in hand, too. Oh, man. Well, all righty. Any parting words for our wonderful listeners?
Just be you. Be who you are. Don't give up. Always keep pushing. The goal is at the end. You're definitely going to reach that goal that you're obtaining. So don't lose track of the goal. Continue fighting, keep pushing, and you're going to win. And you're definitely going to win. So that's my final words.
So Happy and Grateful, written by Antonio T. Smith Jr., is life-changing. We are an unhappy people and we make unhappy decisions. But he teaches us that if we take on the responsibility of our happiness, if we look at happiness and gratitude as our duty, as our responsibility, as our birthright, we can't help but to have a prosperous life. Go buy So Happy and Grateful by Antonio T. Smith Jr. You won't be disappointed.